Arizona is a huge, diverse state. Where we're dealing up here in northern Arizona, it's high desert area. It's a lot of exposed rocks or so on. And then we have this phenomenon called the monsoon. It builds these big thunderclouds. It makes these very intense rainstorms that you can get up to 2 inches an hour that can really just overwhelm these drainage structures.
And that's what happened out here. The storm hit just right over the top of that plateau and brought all the debris down the plateau across 89A.
It was a moving conveyor of mud and debris and boulders the size of this room. Calls started coming in that there was a flood, and when our guys quickly got out there with Department of Public Safety, we realized this was a major flood event that was going to require all of our resources in the North Central District and more. So we looked at, can we get an emergency contract and go through a bidding process? That's going to take 30 to 45 days. We just had a presentation of the JOC contract. So I called Brandy, who was the presenter, saying how we're going to make this work, because the existing JOC contract was really designed for facilities, buildings. There was no building. This was a remote highway. Even so, she was very positive that this is something we can do because it's all been pre-approved through the state procurement office. So SJ Anderson was awarded and bid the contract for the JOC.
Brandy Hunt from the Gordian group had notified us of the project. That was a Friday, I believe, and we were there on the site the following Monday. We met Kurt Harris from ADOT, and we had 3 local contractors that ADOT had used in the area meet us as well to do a site visit. We got to the site, we all met at the intersection of 89 and 89A, had no idea what the scope of work was at that point, and as we got over to the damage area, site number 3, then we realized what we were up against.
The box culverts that allows the water to pass under the highway were severely damaged and full of boulders.
The damage was massive. There was boulders the size of our trucks.
Fences were knocked down, the signs were gone.
The highway itself was damaged severely in 3 different areas. The shoulders of the roads were gone. There was bare rebar exposed. There was approximately 5,000 to 6,000 cubic yards of material that had to be moved out of these washes. And then at that point, we knew we were in for a project.
So we had the field meeting. We had the scope of work. I met with SJ Anderson and Brandy, and then we basically started with the JOC contract, which just handed it over to them, and then they worked out the cost and the timing and the schedule. It was a really good relief to us to let them take that bulk of the work, fleshing the project out. What are we going to do with all these boulders? Can we stage them here? Can we move them? Do we have to haul them off? All these little things to make sure it's done as fast as possible. So literally within 2 weeks, we actually had the contractor out there.
Each lane had to be removed and replaced. Shoulders along the road all put back together, fencing put back in as well. Extensive concrete work. And then one of the keys to the project was to make it look good. So we have to take the material on both sides of the wash and basically put the desert back the way it was. Our construction crews were there sun up to sundown for 6 weeks.
We went from August 9th basically to October with the job completely finished.
Quite a project for 6 weeks.
The job order contract allowed us to quickly get forces into the field, where if we try to go through a standard bid contract, it would have been months difference.
You know, the old way of doing construction with a set of plans and you take low bid and who knows what you get. This way, we can work hand in hand with the owner. It's fast track.
The JOC provided the timeliness, the cost factor, and the flexibility that we could hire existing subcontractors that are working within northern Arizona that knows our standards and specifications. I can't say enough about how I believe that JOC contract really was that huge advantage in getting that road open as soon as possible and as safe as possible.